Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's life experience with the Better You. Every acceptance of a marriage proposal carries weight the human eyes cannot see. Some yeses do open doors to peace, purpose, and partnership, while some yeses become a prison, a cage. Today, we are not here to judge anyone's past. We are here to open our eyes because sometimes what looks like love is actually dependency. What looks like protection is actually control. And what sounds like a blessing is actually the beginning of a long silence. When a heart says yes out of pressure, out of fear, out of lack or influence, it is not a convenience. It is a transaction disguised as commitment. And any yes that costs you your voice, your safety, or your identity is actually a costly yes. This conversation is an invitation to wisdom for parents, for young people, for families, for society. We will unmask the reality behind age gaps, power gaps, emotional gaps, and the silence that grows when love isn't present at the foundation. Our topic today is the costly yes. Today's topic is actually looking at young ladies saying yes because they want a secured future, they want power, and they go in and say yes at a very costly price. So with me today to discuss this topic is a love and life experience architect. And together, we will unpack the real lessons from when young adults underage accept this costly proposal and acceptance, not just to couples, but to parents and young people watching. You're all welcome to the program once again, and thank you for joining us. I would like to introduce my guest. My guest today is Mr. Deji Sowunmi. Like I said earlier, he's a love and life experience architect. He blends expertise as an architect, interior designer, writer, certified family life coach, and family system engineer to guide individuals, couples, families, and corporations through life. Passionate about bliss on earth, he employs his life cardinals: acceptance, understanding, respect, and unconditional love to build strong relationships and foster inner peace. A journey with him leads to a life filled with love, joy, and harmony. Deji, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Auntie MC. Good day to you, and hello everyone joining us on today's episode. It has always been close to my heart because there are a million and one ways, opinions, perspectives about love, about marriage, what marriage even really is, why do we get married, how do we get married, should we even get married? Because a lot of people out there would come and say, well, marriage is quite bitter these days. We hear of only separations and so on and so forth. But marriage is just a system that has no issues. It's the people, I think, that are maybe both of them, or at least one of them, that can be responsible for issues in marriage. But once we know what we are looking for, what to expect, how it's supposed to be, like what science says about a few things, then I guess we're good to go.
Like I said, we're actually going to focus on the young ones, mostly ladies, that actually want a secured future, and then they go for the guys with the money. But I'm not even going to say the guys with the money because they may have somebody that is a bit closer to their age. But I'm looking at people old enough to be their fathers, people old enough to be their grandfathers. But because of that money that will bring about power, they fail to see that there's no love in it. And then they do not understand that they are going to be silenced in that union.
Okay. There is no one answer to it. It's a lot of things depending on the circumstances around the young lady in question or the older gentleman in question. It's always been a thing of the world. Let's start historically. It's always been a thing of the world that men who are advanced in age, most of the time, or some of the time, are also advanced in affluence. So these men were easily able to take their pick of whatever they wanted. I think this was probably linked to people saying that men are beings of sight. They want to be able to be accustomed by young, beautiful women. They want to be with youth because they say the man has the wandering eye. But I don't think it's a gender thing. But it's about the definitions for me. Hypergamy and hypogamy are marriage systems. Hypergamy is a marriage system whereby you are marrying into somebody of a higher social status to you. E.g., a young woman marrying a rich suitor. The suitor could be old or could be young, but that is what hypergamy is. We are going into a greater affluence. Now, hypogamy is the opposite of that, where the woman is marrying somebody who is of a less social status to her. Now, whichever one it is that you are doing, there's always a reason for it. And financial security has always been key. It is not just in this society that people have started marrying into families that are richer. It was a way to, in the past, raise the family status. So the young girls were like commodities being traded for a family future. The girls are being told that this is not about love only. This is about raising the profile of your family, sacrificing for your family to lead it into a better era. But so many things are tied around this particular singular decision of marrying into a higher class. First of all, the person who is marrying you, who is of a higher class, knows that they are of a higher class. And love is not usually the all and be all in that. Power play is usually at work. So they know that, okay, I'm going to be able to control this person. The person marrying up also understands that they might have to sacrifice 1, 2, or 3 things because the carrot is the money. Now, people would go ahead and say it's not because of the money, but I'll ask the question: in large age gap marriages, really, young lady, are you attracted to that man? Do you want to be seen all the time with that man? Can you strike up proper relationship with that older gentleman, if not for the money in question? That is, if she wasn't forced into that marriage. That is the first question I'm going to ask. Now, age group marriages or age gap marriages are also in 2 levels.
Deji, Deji, sorry, let me cut in there before we move away from that point. In Africa, we are used to marrying up. That is, the ladies will marry up. They expect us to marry somebody that is of higher societal status, higher, well boxed up, things like that. So that I believe that it will make the lady actually respect where she's going to, because that will definitely bring respect easily, I believe. Okay. So in Africa, we are kind of used to it, because when you see a guy that is younger than the wife, the society frowns at it, because they look at you and say, your wife will not respect you. They look at it that, your wife will do this to you. Now, going back to the actual talk of today, that is the young lady. And actually, I want to focus more on those that are not even adults yet, because adult age is 18 in this country. So 18 and below, we know that it does happen, they marry in this part of our climate. So what I want to say is that by the time the man wants to marry this young girl, depending on their social class, that is the girl's family social class. If it is a very low family social class, the man will dominate. The man will walk over the whole family and will make them dance to his tune, and he will pick up his property. But if it is the middle class, the man will simmer down a little. And then the woman or the lady in question will have the time to flex and do the girly thing and things like that. And then the guy will, don't let me use the guy because we are looking at older men. And the man will play along. You understand? But if it is of both status, family status about the same height, then it's going to be a case of respect my daughter. We are not selling her to you. She likes you. You know, those are three different scenarios. Now, don't let us look at the high societal status. Let us look at the middle class and the low class. Like you have said, it's either that they want to, the family in question that the lady is coming from, they want to use that opportunity to lift up their status, to upgrade. Yeah. Thank you. To upgrade, to secure the future of the rest of the children of the family through that lady. So let us look at it from that aspect.
Okay. Now, going back to what you said at first, which is everything seems to be on an equal level. If it's a regular relationship whereby most of them are probably from the same class, and even look at saying a woman has more weight and takes lead in that period as opposed to when she's married. It seems we have failed to define what marriage is for all of us before we get married. So we have varying results and varying expectations. The weird part of the thing is that programming, or people marrying of equal status, none of them is wrong. They are all fine and acceptable as long as you know what you're doing. Everybody goes into it. I'll say anybody who wants to marry 4 wives should definitely marry a woman who doesn't mind 3 sister wives. That's how it works, because it's different things for everybody. Our beliefs, it's what makes everybody, and what you believe is what you're going to do. Now, in that case that we're talking about, people of equal status trying to get married, if it's not defined, what happens is that before they get married, we traditionally say the man has to woo the woman. So what he's doing is, at that point in time, he's trying to impress the woman, for the woman to know that, oh, he likes me, oh, he respects me, oh, he will be with me, and he will listen to what I have to say, to which the woman naturally falls for. The woman is herself, she's able to express herself, she wants to go dancing, she goes dancing, she's a butterfly, everything is great, until they get married. Now, that kind of becomes a trap, because it now seems a lie, all what the man did before they got married. Because after that, the societal issues will kick in. Then we will start hearing the man is the head of the home. You can't, the restriction follows all through. But that has its own results. Eventually, the woman ends up resenting the man if he's not careful. Because marriage is actually about partnership.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about leading and following, really. It's about service. You will lead in particular roles, and you will serve in particular roles. That's why marriage is about partnership. So if you go into marriage expecting partnership, and you stick to it, the marriage is good for you. But if you go into marriage with the man giving you the idea of partnership, then later it now becomes, you have to be subservient to me. That's where clashes can be. But if it's the woman that believes in being subservient, there will be no problems in the marriage whatsoever, because that's what she believes. But a woman who believes in being subservient will be subservient even when they were dating.
But don't forget that we are not looking at equal ages. We are looking at somebody old enough to be a grandfather.
Okay. Now,
to somebody that is still under 20. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, that's what I'm going to move to next. That let's now speak in regard of age gap relationships, and not age of maybe 25 for the female and 70 for the male, but underage. Okay. Now, first of all, neurologists, those are the science that deal with the brain, are giving a particular paper that the prefrontal cortex matures around the age of 25, 26, but 25 to be exact. So anybody who is under the age of 25 is not able to take care of decision making, long-term planning, emotional regulation, and any kind of emotional maturity. They are not able to achieve that.
You know, that is well spelled out in the Child Rights Act of Nigeria.
Exactly.
Thank you. Yeah.
They are not able to do that. So a teenager between 13, in fact, at times we have preteens being married. A 12-year-old girl can be given to men. So they are biologically incapable of processing the weight of marriage. Their brain is wired for short-term rewards, social acceptance, emotional highs. That's what even makes them uniquely vulnerable to what we can call love bombing. You gave those roses, you brought that chocolate, you brought that teddy bear. Everything is just in the girl's brain like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's all manipulation and pressure. Yeah. They can't deal with it. That is why I would advise people to read up, because knowledge frees you. Knowledge liberates you. You should not be giving your daughter into a complex system that is marriage.
But how can you preach this to a family of very low class that does not even have the money, and then you have somebody dangling that money that this can change your life?
We are not going to be able to do that, because unless there's a better standard of living in the country as a whole, whereby you can be poor and you can still survive, except there is a home that can push for values over affluence, there's nothing we can really do.
Yeah, you said something. You said education matters. Yes, if education were to be a little bit cheaper and a lot of people are in school, don't you think we'll have a better society in terms of
this particular epidemic? Yes, we will have a better society, because the government, the NGOs, they are already doing a lot that they can do. But Nigeria is a very big country. And when I'm even talking education, I'm not talking about formal or academic education alone. At times, you don't have to go to the four classrooms of the wall to know that if you are eating or drinking in an unhygienic matter, you are going to fall ill. So a lot of knowledge is picked up from everywhere that we are. But the thing is that smartphones, the internet, social media is beginning to penetrate the very poor places, because it's just normal that when you don't have, you seek to acquire things that can give you status. So phones and social media are in poor homes.
Okay.
But what is on social media?
Sending negative vibes to them.
Exactly. This particular conversation we are having now, I don't know how big we are or how it will be received, but it will have fewer likes than somebody who is showing indecent, dangerous, one-sided content. They will get to 1 million views before we get to 10,000 views.
That's true.
That is the problem that we have in the world. There has to be a proper concerted effort, and education is a great way out, because I'm looking at a future whereby if the parents don't know, I want the child to be able to come back from school, from church, from the mosque, or from a community outing and say, oh, mom, dad, this is not acceptable. This is what I want for my life, and I hope you can let me do that. Because what happens here is that the family guilts these girls. They guilt them. They put the whole weight of the family on these girls. You have to do it. You have to sacrifice. You have to honor your family. Look at your brother. Look at your sister. Look at us. Yes, it might look like this. It might look like he's a wicked person. Even when they are married and they are abused, these girls escape their home, run back to their families, and their families just take them right back, overlooking what harm they've gone through because of what they want.
Yeah, I was talking to a lady of recent. She's of I would say a low family, status, because she sells pepper, on the street, and we're talking about, because I saw her daughter, the way she was, treating the girl, and she said, "Man, look, my prayer is that may my daughter marry rich, so that she will take me out of this thing that I'm doing under the sun." It's always like a silent prayer of some
parents. It's not about the mother or the father. It's just parents. And they hide under the fact that they want the best for their child. It's all manipulation. And the child is being able to be manipulated for the simple reason we mentioned at the beginning of this particular question. The prefrontal cortex is not yet mature enough to deal with this kind of things. That's why it's easy for the girl to mistake validation for love or for romance. I mean, at the beginning, it's always going to be like the young woman is swept away by a mature, caring, generous man. In this case, usually a millionaire or a billionaire. But let's look at what mature is. Mature that she's looking for age is not her husband, it's her father. Her father has been absent emotionally. Because I would want, by the end of this conversation, I want us parents, especially us men like myself, to look at provision from a different point of view. Provide for your family, yes, but there is nowhere in the world that it says provide money alone. Provide security, provide emotional support, provide love, provide academic support, provide social support. Secure your child. It's very, very important. Rather than look at it that I want this girl to go into this family and be rich and be comforted and she'll not take care of us. Rather, raise your child with the mindset of I want her to be whole. I want her to be intelligent. I want her to be a resourceful woman who can think for herself and propel herself. A woman that can join with another and raise greatness. Or a woman that can be all she needs to be, either she's married or not. Because we are the ones that keep this pressure on women and on girls. We are justifying and we are quantifying a woman's life by if she's married and if she has children. So in our polity is always they're barren. I'm not sure that you can even apply barren to a human being. You can apply barren to a plant, to a tree that refuses to fruit. But I don't think we should apply it to a woman because there's no state, there's no emotional state or state of being alive that states that a woman is barren. Same thing for a woman that is unmarried. How is she irresponsible? A woman who has been married, who her husband is irresponsible, and she had to leave for her mental health. How is that woman irresponsible? So those are the manipulations, those are the challenges that society, the parents, give to these girls. These girls, they don't, then later on, the issues that are in this marriage is that the girl later now has a mind of her own. She's now 25, 26, 30. She now has a mind of her own, which the old men will not interpret as stubborn.
Reality hitting her. Reality hitting her.
Yeah, she cannot make her own choices. The choices were made for her before. She cannot make her own choices. So naturally, she's now difficult, ungrateful, uncontrollable. And that's just unfair, which is why she has to get to a particular age, both men and women, before they can make on marriage. It's a lot of things.
Yes.
Fear, desperation, poverty, for all those reasons.
I'm going to definitely call you back for a second part. I think I wrote it. I told you that I will.
We've not exhausted everything.
Yes, because we need to know how these children can heal. We need to know what can be done when they come to self-realization of what they're actually doing right now. The society is decaying, and we know that the marriage unit is the smallest unit of any society. If that unit is well formed, the world at large will not be where it is right now. So we need to come. You need to come and then talk about healing the trauma that these people they've gone through, so that they will not pass it on to the next one, because unintentionally they will pass it on to their children.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call you back, Deji, so that we can continue. We can continue that. So to our viewers, I'm going to say that if there's anything take out of this our discussion, it is love is not supposed to be silenced. You are not supposed to shrink in love. You're not supposed to break in love. Love does not hide you behind luxury. It lifts you with dignity. So every parent must remember, your child's future is not for sale. Your child's future is not for sale. Your child's future is not to be used to elevate your own family, your own nuclear family. So every young woman must remember, your peace is more valuable than any promise of comfort, like any love bombing, than anything presents that they're coming to use to woo you. Look beyond it. And every society must remember that we are responsible for the voices that are silenced and the lives we celebrate blindly. Yes, they are trophy wives, but what are they going through? So as we live today, I pray that God should give us the strength to choose wisely, the courage to speak up, the wisdom to guard our children, and the compassion to rebuild lives that are damaged by silence. Marriage will never cost you your identity. Some people lose their identity when they sign up for costly, or rather when they say that costly yes. It should never cost you your safety. It should never cost you your voice. So let every yes be a free yes, not a pressurized yes. It should be a wise yes and a matured yes, so that you can have a peaceful yes. Because the only marriage worth celebrating is the one that doesn't cost you your yes. Thank you once again, Deji. I'm looking forward to having you for the part 2. Honestly, I am really looking forward to it.
I look forward to it.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.